We invite you to a journey to a distant land full of spoilers, bad language, and opinions. This is a podcast land, a magical land. The land is called 250 Reasons to Stay Indoors. So, here we go. Hello everyone and welcome to 250 Reasons to Stay Indoors. I'm Jordan.
I'm Kieran.
And this is the podcast where we watch the IMDb top 250 films. We watch them and we tell you whether they're worth staying indoors for or not. This week we are watching, Kieran, take it away.
Inception. And it is number 15 on the top 250 list, and it came out in 2010.
How wonderful. I do believe the boy Leonardo DiCaprio is in this one.
That man is in that film.
He is in that film. And another guy is also in it, I've heard.
I've heard some women are in this film as well.
Ah.
Yeah, so it's got the...
people of the female genre.
It's not so much a genre as it is a gender, so...
it's a matter of perspective.
Okay.
So, Kieran, what do you think this film's going to be about?
I've already seen this film.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
Because this is a film that I've actually seen, and it's actually high up in the list, so I'm impressed with myself, first of all.
Yeah.
I'd like to
give yourself a pat on the back.
There we go.
Well done.
If you didn't hear that, that was me patting myself on the back.
Okay, I have seen the film.
Right.
But it would be cool. I mean, the word Inception just makes me think that it's about putting something in a thing. So it could literally be anything. What was it? What if it was like Inception was about an espionage team trying to put dreams into people's heads?
Is that not what the film's about?
Yes. I am incredibly uncreative. I literally, I don't know. Inception's not a word you come across until you saw Inception. So
exactly.
And then everything became Inception, didn't it? Should we go and watch the film?
Yeah, let's go watch the film.
Okay. Okay, Kieran, fast forwards for the film.
Dreams.
Sleep.
Needles in your arm.
Crazy dead wife.
Kids running around corners.
Kids with no faces.
They had building buildings and stuff.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Ah, I was going to say that. Buildings moving.
Everyone being fucking gorgeous.
The shores of the mind.
And that'll do.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
so
no, I'm not looking forward to this at all.
You know what time it is.
Okay, everyone set your stopwatches for 3 minutes.
My phone stopped working.
50. Oh.
Okay, here we go. Are you ready?
I'm really not.
3, 2, 1. Fuck.
I
pressed like 80,000 different buttons before I was on like 1 second
start.
86 with one lap at 0.99.
How?
Okay, all right, for reals now. Are you ready?
Yeah,
3,
I'm ready.
2, 1, go.
Leonardo DiCaprio has this thing where he can go inside people's minds and extract information, and he gets tasked to go inside someone's mind and put information in there. They go through loads of different levels. His wife comes and haunts him, and he doesn't get to see his kids until right at the end. And he didn't kill his wife, but everyone thinks he did. And then they all live happily ever after, I think.
17 seconds. I mean, it's hard, but that was good. I thought you added extra details at the end. I think I felt like you could have wrapped it up a little bit faster. I thought you were going to do it. I was like, oh, and then you just sort of went over a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So, should we go through the film?
It's just so hard to sum up.
It is.
I almost feel like the synopsis is going to be more difficult than the 15-second pitch, actually.
No, I think we got it.
Okay, you kick us off then.
Okay.
Synopsis.
Right, so it's one of those classic films where
Can we start with one of these?
Bom, bom.
Hans Zimmer. Synopsis.
So it's one of those classic films that starts with a bit of the end at the start. Yeah.
That's a classic.
Yeah, yeah. So he is facing like an old guy, and Leonardo DiCaprio is sat at a table with an old guy who pulls out this little spinner, says he knows a guy who used to have one of these. And it's all a bit weird. Cut forward to completely different sort of time, as it were. We go back in time, but we're not necessarily told this. And it's Leonardo DiCaprio and Joseph Gordon-Levitt playing the roles of Cobb and Arthur.
Yep.
Yeah. And what are they doing here? And they're in the mind of someone. So we realize they're in a dream at this stage.
They are in the mind of Sato.
Yes, that's what they're in the mind of Sato, who is a man who runs, I believe, some sort of energy company. So we open with Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Leonardo DiCaprio talking to Saito in what appears to be some sort of casino sort of thing. They're doing like a business deal. And he's explaining to Saito that he is an extractor of dreams, and he's going to teach him how to protect his his thoughts and his deepest secrets from any possible extraction. So this is a world where people can come into your dreams and take valuable information, because that's when you're at your most vulnerable. Yeah. So Saito sort of realizes what's going on, and he believes that they're trying to actually get information from him themselves, and he sort of is walking off. We then jump out a layer and we realize that they're in a dream. This is where we see they're in a dream, and they're in like some sort of apartment. I think it's actually supposed to be Saito's apartment, and they're all sort of asleep and being watched by a certain dude. Bloody hell. Then this pulls out another layer and we realize that was a dream, when it's all chaos kicks off. It's all fighting and all of this stuff. This is where we're first introduced to the idea of an architect, which is a person who can who sort of constructs the world that people are dreaming in.
So just to quickly backtrack a second.
Okay.
The idea.
Yes.
So let's say you're in your present. This is like no levels here. We're in the present day and our reality as we know it. Yeah. And someone sticks a needle in your arm, and then you go into a layer of dream state.
Yes.
Right.
Seems to be like an instant sleep. They have like a sedative that's gets put into you.
And so one person starts dreaming, and then everyone is in that person's dream.
Yeah.
And all the people that are in this dream, they're the projections that the person who is dreaming is putting onto them. So, for example, let's say you were in my dream, Jordan. Everyone around me would be the way that I would imagine them in real life. And the kitchen would be the way that I would imagine it. And the tube would be the way that I imagined it. Not the way that you imagined it, because it's my
you're the dreamer.
Idea
it's your creation.
Right. So what they do in this dream world is they can get out of it by killing themselves or by being killed.
Yeah.
But also, this is the whole deal with Inception, is you can do the whole thing when you go into someone's dream. You do that again when you're already in a dream. Yes. So it's like a dream within a dream.
Inception.
So that's what was happening here. So when they're in this casino place, they're in a dream within a dream.
Yes.
So they're in a casino place, and then one layer out of that is when they're in this guy's apartment, and then one layer out of that is reality.
Real life. So the whole film, I think it's easy to sum up, is the whole film is basically Cobb, Leonardo DiCaprio, is trying to get back to his children, his family. We later find out that the reason why he can't do that is because governments, the US government believes that Kieran just sips some coffee and looks like he's been stung in the face.
It's got all the beans at the bottom of the. Oh.
You're right, buddy.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Okay, all right. Good. So the reason he can't do that is because the US government believe that he killed his wife. We find out later what that situation is, but that's the sort of the driving thing for him. And he has a sort of a team of people. They're like, dream thieves. They go into people's minds and extract information. He's supposed to be the best in the world at it. Saito, he is a guy who owns this energy company, and there's a rival energy company, and he wants that company to be destroyed. So the idea of this Inception is the opposite of the extraction, is putting an idea into someone's brain, which is supposedly impossible, but Leonardo DiCaprio has done it before. So the point is that Saito has asked him to do this for him, and if he does it, he will make a call that means that, you know, Leonardo DiCaprio's charges will be dropped, and like he can continue with his life and get to his children. So we follow Leonardo DiCaprio and his team as they sort of construct this method and a heist. Well, it's almost like an opposite heist, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It's like an opposite heist film into the son, the heir of this energy company, the rival energy company's mind.
Mm-hmm.
His name is Robert Fisher.
That's right.
Yeah.
So we have this massive montage. It's like, imagine a montage, but the cuts are a bit longer than a normal montage. Yeah. And it lasts like a solid 15 minutes or 20 minutes, I reckon.
Yeah.
Where they're going to different countries and they're getting their team together. And so you've got Tom Hardy. He's the guy who does incredible impressions of people. And also like is a great forger.
Yeah.
So,
Ames, I think he's called.
Eames.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Eames. And then you've got a woman called Ariadne. Who I can't remember her real name. So Ariadne, she is a student.
That is
student.
what is her name? No.
This is all you.
Oh, what is it?
I believe in you. The same way that I believe in life after love. You got this.
No, I don't. It'll come back to me.
Okay, well, that woman, so she becomes the architect of these dream states.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea, you don't just like go into someone's dream. These dreams have to be designed and they have to be made in like plans and everything. But the more complex you make them, the harder it is for anyone inside the dream to rebel against it.
Yeah, the plan is to go a dream within a dream within a dream. Of course, complications arise, which then force them to go one level further. And this level is just raw subconscious.
Oh, right.
Yeah. And that level is we find out where Leonardo DiCaprio has been before. And that's how he knows that he can do Inception, because he did it with his wife. Him and his wife somehow managed to find themselves, whilst they were experimenting with this dream stuff, in this subconscious realm where there's just nothing and it's just raw subconscious. And they were there for years and years. They grew old together. Because there's another concept is that each level you go down, time feels longer. They say that your brain is more active and so you're able to do more or something, and so time feels longer than it is. So it's
like 10 seconds in the real world.
Yeah, it was like a couple of minutes.
In
the first dream,
then
which
60
then was
minutes.
60 minutes in the third dream or the second dream or whatever.
Yeah.
So they finally, they come to a point where they have to sort of.
Okay, 1 second. Can I take over? So in the first reality, so in the real life, they go to Robert Fisher and they kidnap him.
Yeah.
And they plant the idea in his mind, as in just like as you would do to me.
You said the first reality.
Sorry.
Clearly.
In the present. Or
yeah, they get to his dream state by being on the same plane as him, and they'd slip him a drug that will make him fall asleep.
Okay, yeah.
So they're all on the plane, so they all get into it. So we get to the first dream state.
In real life, everyone's on the plane.
Yeah.
And they do this thing on the plane.
Yeah.
That's where it starts. Then in the first dream state, they're in this really, really rainy place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's all raining there. And what they do here is they they kidnap him and they pretend that they're kidnapping someone else as well, like his godfather, and put in the idea that this guy, Robert should have his own empire.
Yeah.
And he shouldn't just follow in his dad's footsteps because his dad's died. He should have his own thing going on. And what they do, so Leonardo DiCaprio, he like beats them up and everything, but then the next level round, so they go another level deeper, and then they convince them. He convinces them. He's like, actually, the people kidnapping you these were these other people, blah blah blah, and we're here to protect you. But actually, they were the same people the whole time. Anyway.
Yes.
So then Leonardo DiCaprio's like, mate, we got to go a level deeper, so that we can find the information that your dad was keeping from you about something to do with the business and the work and whatever and all this stuff. So we need to find out what the deal is with your dad. But that's what he tells this guy. But what actually they want to do is they want to convince this guy to do his own thing.
Yeah.
Because we realize that whatever is constructed in Robert Fisher's mind is what Robert Fisher is projecting into the world. So they've pretended that they're going into Browning's subconscious. They pretended they're gone to, and the Browning is the Godfather. So they want to find out whatever secret is that Browning and his dad is keeping. But so they're like, oh yeah, don't worry, mate. We're going to go into Browning's subconscious. They don't go into Browning's subconscious. They go into Robert's subconscious, into his dream state, which means that everything is his. He's projecting that, and so everything is created by him. Which means that when they discover things, he feels like he's doing it for himself.
Yeah.
Which is how that's how an idea is secured and planted.
I think you.
Does that make sense?
No, I think you've got a bit crossed over there.
Fuck.
So I don't think they actually go into his subconscious in the final one. It's actually Ariadne's, because she's the architect, so she's created this world.
Shit, yeah, you're right.
But you are right in as much as the thought has to come from him, because they say that the subject, the person who's dreaming, the sort of the target, as it were, the brain will recognize any thoughts that aren't from the subject. They use the example of, listeners, if I say to you, don't think of a purple elephant, you're now thinking of a purple elephant, but you know that I've made you think of that. It's not a thought that's original to you. So they're saying,
true inspiration is...
Exactly. He has to come up with the idea, which is why they have these 3 levels of suggestion, each level enforcing the idea that he has to break away and create his own empire. And they use a different sort of target each time. So just slowly working at the relationship between him and his father. So they just progressively sort of work at that as they go down.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, long story short, okay, you go ahead, because
it's suggested to Robert that his dad is disappointed that he never tried to make his own empire. So then it sort of makes him feel that that's what he needs to go and do. Like, so they plant in the idea that his dad actually wanted him to make his own empire, and is disappointed that he didn't do that. And it was all of his disappointment towards him is actually just because he isn't, casting his own shadow in the world. He's not going on his own way. The main complication throughout the whole film, though, is that Leonardo DiCaprio's wife, or a figment of Leonardo DiCaprio's imagination as his wife, is like trying to get him to come back to this shore of pure subconscious. We wrap up with Leonardo DiCaprio coming into the subconscious to try and save Saito, because he got shot way back in the first dream. They have to keep going further and further so that he doesn't die. And he has to bring him back because Saito's the only one that can... Bloody hell, this is such a hard thing to... They have to keep... He has to bring Saito back, because if Saito stays there and dies, then because they're so deep in, he'll just be like a mindless guy when he wakes up. Like, he'll lose his mind, sort of thing. Mm-hmm. So, and then that's how... Eventually, Leonardo DiCaprio finds him. We go back to the scene at the start where we find that actually the old man he was talking to is Saito. Saito's been in this subconscious for like years. He's now an old man. Leonardo's found him, and they come back and they live happily ever after. Leonardo gets his freedom, goes back to see his children, spins the little doohickey on the table, and it keeps spinning, and we don't see whether it falls or not, because if it keeps spinning, that's how he knows he's in a dream. But we don't get to see that, and it's sort of left up to us to decide whether it is reality or not. Done. End of film.
Well done. Yeah, I'm impressed.
So, yeah, I mean, it's a hard one to sort of explain. you need to just watch the film really to like really grasp it. In certain Japanese viewings and in a Japanese edition of the film, they actually have in the top left-hand corner words that tell you which level of the dream they're in, just to make it try and keep it more coherent.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it is tough to sort of follow.
I don't think like so everything that happens in like the last 45 minutes when it's like all the action and stuff. I think that for me personally, that stuff all makes sense.
Right.
It's like I remember the first time I watched it, I was struggling with the concept of like the dreamer and the architect and all
Well,
that
this
stuff.
is what I mean by lots of stuff. They have to like go through a lot of it just to make the concept make sense. There's quite a few things that I have still got questions about, but
I just loved being explained all of it.
What did you think of the film? Did you like it?
Mate, I fucking loved it.
Yeah.
Loved it so much. It was when I first watched it, I was like, all right, this is now my favorite film.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, no
wow,
questions. Is my favorite. And so I saw this in like 2013 or something.
Okay.
On a car ride from England to France.
All right. I've
Well,
watched films and car rides too, Kieran. Don't have to show
I
off.
wasn't showing off. I was just.
All right, don't shout.
So I was watching this in 2013, and so I haven't seen it since then. And watching it the other day was just like, oh my god! And I remember how awesome this film was. So I loved it. Did you enjoyed it? I guess.
Yeah, I did like it. I like the concept. I think it's a cool concept. I'm not going to say it's my favorite film or anything like that. I don't think it's even in my top 10. But
oh really?
I did like it. Yeah.
So do you want to tell us about all the beefs that you have with the film?
I don't really have beefs as such. It's sort of more a couple of questions.
Yeah, let's do that.
And things that don't really add up to me.
Cool. Okay.
So we're introduced to this character Yusuf, who is the what do they call? He's the chemist.
Yeah.
Comes up with the
sedative.
The sedative.
That takes them like unconscious, basically.
Yeah. So right, they use that on when they go into the dream. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So to get into the dreams, they have these like briefcases with like long wires and like needles that stick in. So when they go into another dream, so the dream within the dream, they pull out this case. Where did that case come from? Why? Like, how do you?
It's their projections of the world, isn't it?
Right. Yeah.
So you can make anything that you want.
So you could make anything that you want.
Yeah.
I just so.
The same way that when they went into the last dream state before the subconscious in the Canadian mountains and shit, they projected all of the ski gear. Like that just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, I get that. It's just that they're very specific about the type of like sedative that's required to go that deep and stuff like that. And I think is there elements that are required that you couldn't just imagine in you know?
No, because it has to be something that you've experienced and that you can detail in real life.
Oh, okay. Okay, well that was something that sort of bothered me.
Okay, next.
Okay. I did understand the film. I mean, this was my second time watching it as well, so I was sort of paying a lot of attention to things that maybe didn't make so much sense before. I think one of the things that annoys me is the relationship between Cobb and Arthur, sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Arthur knows Moll, whatever her name is.
Moll.
Yeah, Moll. Cobb's wife. But he doesn't know like how much what the whole situation that's gone on with oh my god, this is hard. Leonardo DiCaprio and his wife. He doesn't know that whole situation and why Moll is still like chasing him around and stuff like that. However, Ariadne comes in, Ariana Grande comes in like after having met him for like fucking 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And then somehow manages to discern this whole situation and like actually gets involved and finds out. It's like if Arthur has been around long enough to have known Cobb's wife and his children and like actually it seems to be like a close sort of friend almost, like a close partner. They've worked together a lot. We get the impression they know each other quite well.
Yeah.
How does he not even have an inkling as to what's going on here? How is he that in the dark?
Yeah, but it's one of them things that like when something happens, you kind of just accept it as a friend, or maybe they're just like really tight business partners, and so they're like, well, I'm just do whatever to get the job done, and that's all fine. Whereas when Ariadne came in and was like, dude, you need to sort your shit out, like, and I'm gonna try and help you sort your shit out and all this. When she first came into the project, she was like, well, I'm on board if we can sort this out.
Yeah.
And so he was like, oh, fine, okay, I'm gonna have to actually face this as opposed to just only deal with it in my way and no one else is going to be involved. She was like, yeah, there's no way that I'm going to do this if you're going to still have your psycho wife around the whole time. And there was the psycho wife there the whole time, but at least Ariadne knew about it.
He puts a lot of trust into her without really knowing much about her.
Yeah, but she's also trusting him to not die in.
But likewise, yeah, exactly.
It's a very two-way street. It's very strange, and you must just be thinking that they're paying each other like loads of money.
Yeah, I imagine dream thieving is a very lucrative business.
Yeah, so Ariadne, so the way that we bring her about is that Cobb's dad, who I can't remember his name, but he's Michael Caine.
Yeah, Michael Caine.
So Michael Caine
in the film for all but 3 minutes, but like top on the list of people that are in the film.
Well, of course, naturally. It's like something like Ned or something like that.
Ned.
Yeah. I thought he was called Alfred, and I was like, you're fucking joking. Because isn't that the name of Batman's butler?
Yeah. Anyway. But he plays the granddad of Leonardo DiCaprio's children.
Yeah. So
father to Mole.
Father to Mole.
I would imagine so.
So not.
I didn't get the impression that he was
Cobb's dad.
Yeah, actually, you know what? It's never actually explicitly said. Yeah, it is. But I just had him pegged as. I had him pegged as the father of Mole. I don't know why. I just did. I just saw that.
Okay, well, he's either Mole's dad or Cobb's dad.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Michael Caine teaches architecture.
Yeah.
At university in Paris.
Mm-hmm.
And Cobb goes to Michael Caine. He's like, mate, can you help me out and give us one of your students because our architect has just been killed.
Yeah.
So can you give us another one? And he's like, for God's sake, like, oh, fine, I'll give you one. I'll give you my best student.
For fuck's sake.
Bloody hell.
They're only supposed to blow the bloody minds off.
Nice. I haven't seen that film, so I don't know.
Ellen Page.
Ellen Page is the name.
That's the name.
That's the name. So Michael Caine gets Ellen Page. And I reckon Ellen Page, so Ariadne, I reckon she must be doing masters. Because for Michael Caine to think that Ariadne is any good, she must be like master's level. Yeah. So let's consider that she's 22.
Yeah.
Yeah, 22-ish. And she gets offered by someone and she's like, and this guy's like, yeah, do you want to work with me? It's completely illegal and you might die. She's like, yeah.
Fucking yeah, mate. Let's do it.
But she got to experience what it was like to be in her own dream state, where she could just like create things out of nowhere.
I imagine if you're studying architecture, like if you and me, Kieran, if we went into a dream and we were just like, okay, here you go, you're dreaming, build a castle. It would probably look kind of crap. Like, I've played Minecraft and I can't build something very cool. Imagine if you'd taken architecture and you then went into a dream and like it must be so like you could just create some crazy things.
Oh, mate. Oh, fucking hell. Dude. On the, wait. Have you seen the Lego movie?
The what?
The Lego movie.
Yeah.
What if there was Inception, the Lego movie? Well, it was just the exact same film, but it's all Lego and all stop motion. The exact same thing. They go into different because they build the world and shit.
Yeah.
But it's just Lego blocks.
It's just like you're just hearing in the background all the noise of lots of Lego bricks falling like.
Exactly. It'd be perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd fucking love that film.
On the note of Ariadne, let's talk trivia because there was just one bit that I found that is definitely like I couldn't even pass this off as knowledge that I would know, but it was just interesting. So just first off, Christopher Nolan took 10 years to write this film.
I'm not surprised.
No, yeah. So there's a lot of thought to it. And when I was looking through some of the trivia, there's some quite in-depth things. Ariadne is the name. It's a woman from Greek mythology. I think she was the daughter of two gods or something, and she helped whoever it was that fought the Minotaur by going through the maze. She like unraveled.
Oh
rope.
Shit! That was her.
Yeah, and
in the labyrinth because the Minotaur was in the labyrinth.
Yeah. And she's also a character within a play. Oh man, I can't remember this bit. It was like a play from way back, where it was a play within a play. So Yeah, it's just an
Ah.
interesting name to have taken. I was thinking it was like Ariadne is not a very normal name at all.
No, well, it depends. Yeah, I mean, in Greece and Italy, it's reasonably common. I know someone called Ariadne,
Oh, okay, I don't.
and she's half Catalan.
All right, I know people too, Kieran.
Well, you just told me you didn't know anyone called Ariadne.
No,
so.
but I know someone called.
Moving on.
Yeah.
Did you have another question?
Probably quite a good question to ask is, do you think that the spinner falls over? Is he in a dream or is he in reality?
I reckon it was going to fall over. And also,
Yeah.
I was very much willing for it to fall over.
Yeah.
But there is a part of me that's like, oh, maybe it stayed spinning. I really, really hoped. Because I also was like, well, how has he convinced like the rest of the world and his family and stuff that he didn't kill his wife and all this shit?
Yeah.
But maybe it's not really out in the open much. Anyway, I think it fell over. What about you?
I also think it fell over. I think it's quite far-fetched to think that it would actually all have been a dream that he was in already. I just don't, like, otherwise wouldn't Mole be around in reality? You know? What do you think? Does that do it?
Can you run that past me again, please?
Right, so his wife, Mole, yeah, she appears whenever he's in a dream situation, trying to drag him down further into the dream.
Mm-hmm.
Would she not just be around in this reality as well to make him die, to bring him down?
Oh, if it was a dream.
Yeah, like, or she would be telling him that he's in the right place and would continue, would ask him to go further, or...
Well, no, because because she died in that reality.
Right.
Because she jumped off.
Yeah, so she'd be there trying to tell him to do it, wouldn't she? Like, I don't... If it doesn't matter what level of the dream she's in, she seems to just be there all the time.
No, because remember how when Cobb ended up shooting Maul in the Canadian place where it was snowy and everything, she didn't just like magically come back after that point. She was dead.
Right.
So it's like whatever dream state that they're in, when they kill Maul, Maul's dead. So I reckon that Maul would still be dead.
Okay. But one of the arguments that I do like for him being in a dream is that idea that everyone's chasing him the same way that they chase you when you're an intruder in someone else's dream.
Oh.
Like, I liked that. That's the only thing I could that would win me over into thinking that it is a dream. But nah, man, I think it fell over.
That's pretty cool. Okay, I respect that. I've got time for that. All right, cool. Should we go into beefs?
Yeah, have you got some beefs?
Yeah, I've got a few beefs.
Oh, there's beef everywhere.
Right at the start of the film, when they're in Sato's dream.
Yeah.
And Leo's creeping around with a silencer gun.
Yeah.
He's got these smart shoes on.
Yeah.
Those shoes definitely would have clip-clopped on the floorboards.
Okay, yeah.
They made no sound. What do you want to say?
I'm sorry, yeah, no, you just reminded me. I really liked that when he was shooting his silenced pistol, he put his hand over the section where the bullet comes out. I think he was like actually catching the bullet, like that attention to detail. Like, so he was, I don't know if you know, right? So when he's going around, he's shooting people, he's going pshing, and he's like got his hand up on the top of the gun each time he shoots someone. I don't know if that's to muffle it or if it's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's where the bullet comes out or something. You know, the shell, the casing for the bullet comes out. So I was just like, that's cool.
Wait, I don't understand. What's the point?
So
because
the bullet falls on the floor and makes a noise.
No, it goes inside the dude.
No, there's a shell from the bullet and the actual bullet itself. So you shoot and the shell comes out and is
you're
thrown
right.
away.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Yeah,
and also every single time that I've seen someone shoot a silencer gun, because I see that all the time, of course, they always just shoot them and then they fall on the floor.
Yeah. But he was catching them, exactly. That's what I mean. It was so stealthy.
So stealthy. Yeah, that was pretty
cool.
So,
I mean, clip-cloppy shoes could probably be forgiven for the fact that he is actually doing stealth.
Yeah. There's points in some of the dream worlds when there's people shooting at people and everyone who is not the main cast can't shoot any guns.
It's
a bit classic.
It's another one of those, isn't it? Also, how does, like, so I get that people get trained on protecting people from from stealing their ideas and their dreams.
Yeah.
How do you train your subconscious to have guns?
What do you mean?
Like, how does that happen? How, like, because they're like weaponized subconscious.
No, because this is part of it. So let's say I haven't had any training
right.
for to protect my secrets and my dreams, and I've had no protection, then everyone that's going to be in my dreams, all of my projections is going to be normal people.
Yeah.
Whereas if I've had training, then I know that there's parts of my brain, as part of my dreams, that are supposed to protect me. So they're gonna have guns, and they're gonna have whatever it's gonna take to protect me from my shit getting stolen.
Okay.
I've got an answer for all your questions, Jordan. I'm
strongly. I can't disagree. That
I'm
does
strongly
answer my question.
in the defense of the like the ideas of this film, but it's semantics of this film that I still have a few beefs with. For example, when they were doing the big montage of everything,
Yeah.
and Ariadne had built all of these like dioramas or these big models of all of the dreams and the mazes and stuff, which looked fucking cool. I reckon they probably spent about 2 months. No, I reckon they spent about 2 weeks actually, just trying to figure out how they were going to do this reverse heist thing, how they were going to do this.
What makes
Inception.
you think that?
Because from the time that the guy's dad, Robert Fisher's dad, died, to the company then merging and taking over the rest of the energy companies in the world, I reckon that would have been quite quick because the guy died. And so Robert Fisher would have had to take some action with the company.
No, but the funeral's like the day after he dies or something. Like there's like
I don't think it's anything to do with the funeral.
Right, but I mean the build up they're planning for before his death.
Oh,
yeah. They're doing all the plan work before he dies, waiting for him to die, and that's when they're going to do it.
Oh,
because that's when he's going to get on the plane for the funeral.
Of course. Oh, that's why they're like, and they just burst into the room and they're like, the guy's dead. Let's go.
Answer for all your questions, Kieran.
Okay, all right, fine then. In any case, I felt like the stuff that Ariadne was doing, the making the models and shit, like that arts and crafts stuff, that looks like it takes a lot of time.
Yeah, but then it's like she's doing architecture at university. It's probably something she's practicing a lot. She could probably whip up. I mean, they weren't incredibly detailed. They were just statue like.
Maybe
paper.
She's got a 3D printer.
Maybe she's got a 3D printer.
Another thing, when they're on the plane and they go into the first dream state, there's a flight attendant that helps them all go into the dream state. So they all put the needles into their own arms, and she presses the button.
Yeah.
So did they get this flight attendant
in? They just paid her off, didn't they, or something? Probably.
I guess so. Yeah. So and they're just like, open this box.
Well, he bought the Saito. So they say to do this, we're going to need to buy out the whole level of the plane. And Saito's just like, I just bought the airline. So
don't worry, I've got it.
So I'm pretty sure they wouldn't have had an issue with just getting a fake air hostess onto the.
In the first dream state,
yeah,
they end up going in this minibus, and the Yusuf, the chemist, he's driving this minibus.
Yeah,
he's like the only comic relief in this whole film because he's a bit like, he has a few comments and facial expressions that are like a bit funny. And he drives the minibus not amazingly, but anyway.
After being told to drive carefully, he then proceeds to
drive extremely recklessly and loses all the windows and everything like that. I would have thought by the time they got to the bridge,
something would have happened.
The car would have just been absolutely fucked, and also they would have all got kicks. So one thing by the way.
Yeah, we didn't mention this.
So one thing, that we didn't mention is that there's 2 ways to get taken out of a dream. Either you get killed in your dream, or you get a kick. So you sleeping in the real world, if your body gets a kick, as in like the sense of feeling that you're falling over, or that you've just been put into water or something like that, that kind of shock, that takes you back into the real world. But the sedative that Yusuf had provided was so strong that not only do you need a stronger kick, but also if you get killed in that world, in the dream
you
world,
won't wake up.
Exactly, because it's too strong. So, but regardless, I still feel like the sedative that he was providing, like these guys were getting knocked back and forth in this minibus, and it was no big deal.
Yeah.
Also, so they have to time all of the kicks at the same time to bring them all out of the dream state all at the same time, which is incredible timing apparently. And so there's 10 seconds apparently from when Yusuf needs to reverse the van off of this bridge, and there's 10 seconds between that and it hitting the water. And it's not the timing that I have an issue with at this stage. it's the barrier on the bridge would have definitely been more reinforced to allow the to stop things
It
from
would have
going
stopped
off the
the
bridge.
van from coming off.
I think so. Because there's certain things like a crash barrier on a motorway is not designed to stop people from going off the motorway. It's designed to absorb the impact.
Whose dream is this we're in?
What, as in, well, it's Yusuf's dream because it's raining loads, and it's raining because he needed to pee before he got on the plane.
So could he not have made a barrier that's not that strong?
Yeah, I guess so, actually, maybe. Yeah, that is a possibility.
Yeah.
But then by the same... Yeah, I guess. It's kind of tricky. Anyway.
Interesting fact.
Okay.
Yeah. Apparently the team, as it were.
I saw this on the Amazon Prime thing.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
The team is based off of the people that you need to make a film, like filmmaking. No,
wait,
you're
what?
looking at me like you're confused.
No, I had a different fact.
Oh, okay. Well, you can do yours in a second.
Sure.
So Christopher Nolan, when he was writing it, based the characters off of the roles in a filmmaking situation. So Cobb would be the director. Arthur is the producer. Ariadne is the producer of what is it?
What, the set designer or something?
Yeah, like production designer. Eanes is the actor. Saito is the studio, and Fisher is the audience.
Fisher is the audience.
Yeah.
Very good. There's one thing that I saw, and
do it.
Okay, there's one thing I saw.
Yeah.
Check it out. So if you take the first letters,
what's it all about?
Yes. If you take the first letters of the main characters' names.
Oh yeah, I saw this one.
It's pretty cool. So Dom, which one was Dom?
I don't know.
Was that Robert's dad?
Maybe, or is it just the first? Wait, is the first names, isn't it? So is it like Dom?
Yeah,
Cobb?
actually, yeah.
Something. I
So
guess.
is it Dom Cobb?
Maybe.
Is that the guy's name?
Yeah.
And then Robert
Yeah.
Fisher, Eames, Arthur, Mole, and Sato. They spell dreams.
Yeah.
If you add Peter, which one's Peter?
I don't know.
That might have been Browning. Ariadne and Yusuf, the whole makes dreams pay, which is what they do for a mind thief.
Yeah.
Pretty decent. But going back to the beefs.
Yeah.
So the whole timing of the van going off the bridge taking 10 seconds, that's reasonable, I think. And the whole timing of what they were doing in the last dream state before the subconscious, that whole timing, that made sense. But in I'm going to say, I think the second dream state.
Yes.
They're in this hotel, right? And Joseph Gordon-Levitt is the one who is, he's controlling everything because he puts them down into another state. So he's the one that's still like alive in that one, if you will. And what's shit is that the car goes into zero gravity because
in Arthur's realm they're going into zero gravity because
the van is in free fall
Yeah.
off the bridge going into the water. So what happens is they have no gravity for ages. So apparently he has 3 minutes to get them into a place where they can receive a kick and then become alive again and go into back to reality and all that stuff. What he does is he does all of this in 3 minutes. You tell me if this will take you 3 minutes.
Okay.
Fights off some bad guys several times.
I'm punching bad guys.
Okay. Then you go back inside the room.
Okay, I won.
In zero
back in the
gravity.
room.
Okay. And then
Let me just open the door.
Yeah. So then you open up the case.
Okay.
Right? And then you're like, shit, what do I do? How do I give these guys a kick if
How
there's
am I
no
going to
gravity?
give you a kick in zero gravity?
And so what he does is he collects all of the people and he puts them like
I'm collecting them.
They're all lying down, but then he stacks them on top of each other.
Yeah.
He winds them all up.
Raveling them all up.
With a big long cable, looks like an extension cable. And he pushes them down outside the door.
Open the door.
Down the corridor. Into the lift.
Okay.
So he pushes the button for the lift.
Yeah.
Lift apparently arrives immediately.
Yeah.
And
Because lifts can function in zero gravity.
Of course. Well, they're done by cables.
Yeah,
so
it's weights, isn't it?
Yeah. And then it goes. And so then he puts them all in the lift.
Mm-hmm.
Then he goes outside of the lift.
Yeah.
So he's in the elevator shaft.
Scooping out the top.
Scooping up the top, and he puts these C4 all over the place, right? Goes back inside the lift, goes to the bottom of the lift, and then waits. And he still has time to wait.
Yeah.
Bullshit. Bullshit if that's happening in 3 minutes. There's no fucking way. Like, so he's doing all of this in zero gravity. It would be hard enough to do in like normal gravity where you can actually run places. But this dude's like swimming about in zero gravity, fighting people, all of this fucking bollocks. It's not happening. There's no fucking way it's happening. That's the only thing. That's the only timing thing where I was like, that's bullshit. Fucking love Joseph Gordon-Levitt. He was like sexiest dude in this film.
Yeah,
but not having it.
They when he went for his audition, he was given like just a brief summary of the character, and he went in a full suit just in case, and apparently just matched the character's wardrobe perfectly.
Oh my god, what a legend, man! So my main takeaway from this film is that the film was awesome, but just everyone, apart from the old people, is so good looking. Like everyone is sexy as hell. Like.
I don't know. I think Ellen Page has looked better. This was not a great look for her,
dude. In the second dream state when she had the hair tied back. Oh, you kidding?
Oh, you're about that though.
I'm really about that.
You love a bun.
Yeah, and like looking all business and everything.
Yeah,
and then all the dudes with the suits. Tom Hardy just being Tom Hardy.
Yeah.
Like he had a lot more dialogue than we've seen Tom Hardy have in other things.
Yeah, true.
Which was cool and that was nice. But he was still like, how many?
Mustn't be afraid to dream big, darling.
Very, very good. Yeah. So how English can we make this guy?
Yeah.
Yeah. I did find it funny that they were like, I'll. Yusuf was like, I'll talk to you if you can lose your tail. Oh no. Tom Hardy was saying to DiCaprio, I'll talk to you if you lose your tail. And the DiCaprio's looking around the bar like, oh, I wonder. And they're in Morocco. Oh, I wonder who this person could be. It's the only other white dude in the bar.
White suit.
Yeah.
Let me just tail this guy in a white suit.
Yeah, it may as well just be like the fucking back in colonial days when they had the people discovering Africa with those big fucking help. Do you remember back in the day? And never mind. Okay,
you bloody colonist.
Ugh, I love it. No, I
don't. Okay, Kieran, I've got a question for you.
Hit me with your question.
If you could be someone in the film, who would you be, and how would you make the film different?
Oof. I just feel like it was such an awesome film.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fair.
I don't know if I'd want to change it that much. I would just like to be Cobb and have less baggage. That would be ideal because he's just got so much shit to deal with.
Yeah,
I'd probably be Michael Caine.
You can't just be everyone in the film. You have to pick one person.
Okay, I'll be Michael Caine.
Right.
And first of all, enjoy being Michael Caine.
Yeah, and be in the film for more than 3 minutes.
Yeah, I'll be in the. Yeah, I'll just kind of intervene a bit more.
Yeah.
And just kind of keep tabs on everything. Make sure if there's anything that needs being doing. I'm kind of being Alfred from.
I was about
Batman.
to say, you're gonna like call in Batman.
No, not quite. But I think I would just enjoy being Michael Caine.
Yeah,
it's really cool.
Just like have Michael Caine do some architecture. I imagine he'd be pretty good with that. I'd just be Tom Hardy, just because I'd like to be Tom Hardy.
What is it about him that makes you want to think?
I don't know. He's just really cool, isn't he? It's his voice. He's like, his voice doesn't match his body shape. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he's like, he looks like he's going to be like, all right, mate. How you doing? My name's Tom Hardy.
But he is like that in some films.
He is in some films, but exactly. But he doesn't normally.
He came across.
Like, hello, my name's Tom Hardy.
That's a good point.
Actually. I do speak a bit weird, but it's a little bit broken.
But the great thing about it is that it's eloquent with a bit of rough.
Exactly.
Well.
Yeah.
So that's what makes everyone be like, oh god, he's so dreamy, because he's a bit of a bad boy.
Yeah.
As well as being someone that your mum will be like, oh yeah, he's lovely. It's also like, and he's demon in the sheets. You don't even know.
But I would use his ability to act in this film, because that's the thing he does.
And
be Robert Fisher.
What?
and like just confuse the fuck out of Robert, make him think that I've,
Oh,
but so he's thinking that he's
okay.
placed the thought himself, like he's having some sort of existential crisis talking to himself in his dream.
Okay, that kind of thing that concept doesn't really make a lot of sense because we haven't explained it in this episode. But
what? Oh yeah, of course.
But
well,
we don't have the time to explain it. Like, it's just fucking watch the film and you'll get it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. If you could bring someone in.
Can you give me some criteria, because I've got no idea.
Has to be from an action film, and because I know who I would bring in, so I'm trying to make that.
Oh my god, I'd know who I'd bring in.
Okay, go on.
Neo from The Matrix.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah,
that's
man.
a very good one.
Just because I feel like he would trip out on it, and he would just be, well, first of all, he'd be able to shoot fucking everyone.
Yeah, and he's got experience of doing that whole pulling shit out of nowhere sort of thing.
Yeah. So I reckon he'd be awesome. Either that, or I'd bring in one of the master creators from the Lego Movie to build loads. To
build that like bed.
Yeah, I'd much rather. I wish I'd said that now, but okay. There he is. I've said it.
No, Neo's good. Stick with Neo.
Okay, Neo.
I would bring in Daniel Craig as 007.
Okay.
And just as a like master combat person to have in the team. So he deals with...
Tom Hardy is pretty good with the combat.
Tom Hardy's the actor. He shouldn't be doing that. We should have a separate role for a person. So Tom Hardy can handle himself, but everyone in the team can sort of handle themselves.
Yeah.
Like a lot better than most people. But I want a separate person here who is like, I deal with when shit goes wrong. I've got like... Because 007 is like, he doesn't necessarily always have a plan, but he's good at working on the fly, on his thinking on his feet. I said thinking on his feet. He's good at thinking on his feet.
Yeah.
And so I think he'd be a good addition to the team there.
Yeah, that's a solid shout. But I wouldn't want him to do all of his suave and dialogue, because I feel like the James Bond dialogue is a bit, it's fine, whatever. But I wouldn't want all of his like.
See, but that's kind of what Tom Hardy's bringing to it already.
That's what I'm saying. So I just want 007 just to do all the fighting and stuff.
Okay.
But still have the quips.
Yeah. So, exactly. He doesn't need to do all the suave shit, but it depends on the situation, doesn't it? Whether he's going to need to do that or not. Like they were in a casino at one point, so it's probably going to be suave and casino-y
that's
in
fine.
That one.
But I just don't want it to too much focus to be on him.
No, well, I think he's good at blending in, and he can handle himself well in that situation in terms of blending in and being part of the what is needed. Right.
Okay, cool. That's good. That's pretty good.
So, what are you thinking? Would you stay indoors for this one?
Oh fuck yeah, man!
Yeah,
I would. Yeah, anyone wants to watch this film, invite me over. I will watch this several more times. Yeah, I fucking want to watch this film like as many times as possible. I'd really like this film. Would you?
Yeah, I'd stay indoors. I think everyone should do it once. And then I'm not staying indoors, but everyone should watch this film once. It's a great film. It's a really interesting concept, and it's done well. You can see there's a lot of work's been put into it, and it does come together nicely. So yeah, no, definitely stay indoors.
Banging! I'm so glad.
So what are we watching next week, Kieran?
Next week we are watching Citizen Kane.
Citizen Kane, and
it's just some fucking old film from ages ago.
Yeah,
black and white, I think.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a very good film.
I've heard of it, but only because of Citizen Khan, which is a very different thing.
I've never even heard of that.
BBC Three, something that
sounds like the kind of thing BBC Three would do.
Yeah. So apparently it's good. Yeah, we'll see.
Okay.
All right.
Bye for now.
Bye. All right, well, that's it now.
That's it.
That's all done.
All of it. All wrapped up in a nice little bag for you.
Done.
There you go, mate.
And you can find out more about us, 250reasons@gmail.com if you want to say, hey, what's going on? Tell us about your life.
You can also say hey at 250reasons on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
You can also leave us a glowing 5-star review on Apple Podcasts.
And we love that. We love those 5-star reviews, don't we, Kieran?
Absolutely love them. We've got a few already, and they're really, really nice.
Yeah. So you can do that. You can also see us on Podbean or Stitcher. Where else? YouTube.
Yeah. Acast. Did we say that one?
Yeah, Acast. Yeah, all the good ones,
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's about it. Get in touch. Stay golden.
Cool. Hashtag. And see you next week.
Bye.